Hi, it's Friday, 24th of October, 2025, and welcome to this week's My Thoughts vlog. As usual, unscripted, raw, etc., so anything could happen. A couple of things to talk about today. First is education. This week saw the launch of the LabRats Academy online education service at the Senedd in Wales. It was a great presentation by Alan, as usual, and it was really well received, really positive, and some great questions in the question and answer session. But what it is basically it's an online academy. You can go on, you can learn all about the nuclear test veterans and the nuclear tests. There's links where you can actually hear the veterans themselves describing some of these nuclear tests and what they went through and life in general at the nuclear tests. So that kind of opportunity for people to hear that is golden, really, and shouldn't be missed. There's also like an online course you can do, which again would be really useful for the younger generation and for anybody really. And the sort of 10 to 20 minute sections. It's not something that you're going to get tied into for an hour, 2 hours. So you can do a bit, come back, do a bit more, come back another day, and at the end of it, you get a certificate. But why is it important that we do this education? And it's kind of, well, if you speak to people, even my generation and older, who remember the Cold War, remember that nuclear weapons were involved, a lot of them don't know how Britain actually got hold of nuclear weapons. Did we just get them off the Americans, for example? I think that's what a lot of people assume. They're not the sort of things you can go out and buy, is it? So, yeah, we must have got them from the Americans because everybody knows about the Manhattan Project and Oppenheimer and all that stuff. So the assumption is there, isn't it? But that's wrong. We initially cooperated with the Manhattan Project, but then the Americans decided to part ways with us. And so we had to develop our own if we wanted to be in the nuclear arms race. So not a lot of people know that, and that's where the testing comes in, because we did develop our own, and of course they needed to be tested. So that whole program of testing is something that very few people know about, and it's even more so when you think of the younger generations, younger than me. I mean, I certainly wasn't taught about it in school, and I don't think it's being taught about in school now. Even when people do Cold War studies in their history lessons, I don't think they touch on nuclear testing. It's almost a given that one day nuclear weapons just appeared out of nowhere. So that's why it's important, because at the end of the day, we, whether you like nuclear weapons or not, or support them or not, um, there's an argument for the deterrent that's kept us safe for the last 70 years. And of course, that's probably one of the biggest contributors to world peace, if you like, I guess. Again, this is contentious stuff, and people might say that's not the case. But to me, that's how I see it. And so, for something as important as that, it should be taught, because men actually went out there, did the job, and suffered as a result, and they were ordered to go. So this isn't just a very small thing. It is a major piece of history, and it should be studied. Now, as I say, the academy is online, so I will put a link in whichever format you watch this, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, whatever. I'll put a link to the academy. Just go in, have a look, maybe try and take the course. Just go in, have a look, and if you've got youngsters, maybe see if they're interested, because they might want to do it. So yeah, important stuff. Second thing I want to talk about is the Shin Up Justice campaign, because they went to Parliament, no, not to Parliament, sorry, number 10 this week, and attempted to hand a letter into the Ministry of Defence while they were there, a letter to the Defence Secretary. And they got turned away at the door, and were told you can't deliver a letter to the Defence Secretary. It has to go be posted to a processing hub in Birmingham. Now, bear in mind the Defence Secretary is in that building, and you can't deliver a letter to the building that he sits in. That is madness. And, why couldn't they have just took the letter, even if they have this processing hub in Birmingham, why couldn't they just took the letter, put it in the internal post or even external post? It wouldn't have killed them, would it? Because that, again, it's treatment of people, isn't it? These people took the time to go to London with the letter and go and deliver it there. And what does it say? That the MOD just basically said, no, go away. It says, we're not transparent. You can't access us. It's that visible, palpable feeling of barriers between us and them. Bearing in mind, the Defence Secretary could have and may well have been sat in the office upstairs. It's wrong. And it's not the first time it's happened, because it happened to us. It happened to us, nuclear test veterans, when we tried to present a letter to the Defence Secretary in the same building, at the same reception. We got exactly the same treatment. Go away. You can't do it. And Alan and I were escorted from the building by armed police. How does that make you feel about this transparency and, accessibility of government? Makes you feel a bit rotten. Makes you feel like it doesn't exist. So, yeah, it is wrong, because you should be able to hand a letter in to your government, to your Secretary of Defence that was voted in by the people, and yet you get escorted off the premises by armed police like you've done something wrong. It's a letter we brought, and the Chinook people brought a letter. They didn't bring anything dodgy, nothing dangerous. Why point guns at us and treat us like terrorists? It's just not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. So things need to change. The Ministry of Defence needs to be as accessible as possible. I get the whole thing of security, but especially in these ordinary men and women, in our case, elderly veterans as well. They don't need to be treated that way. It's just wrong. So anyway, but I'm glad that the Chinook Justice Campaign is doing so well. Go and have a look at their stuff. Have a look on Facebook. Have a look on Twitter or X.com or whatever the hell you want to call it. Because theirs is a real case that needs sorting out. And it's wrong. It's really, really wrong what's happening to them. So please go and have a look. Last bit of news, just while I'm here, might as well. About my imminent arrival of a baby. I say imminent, March 10th. We had our 20-week scan. Well, my wife had a 20-week scan. I wasn't scanned. It wasn't necessary. So, yes. And it was the anomaly scan where they check for anything that looks amiss. And everything is going great. Baby is healthy. Georgina's healthy. All the bits are in the right place. All the measurements are correct. And it's all positive stuff. So, obviously, as you know, I worry because of passing genetic stuff down through the genes to my children. Sasha's obviously got a genetic condition. But, so far, everything's going in the right direction. So, I'm happy. I'm really happy. And, can't wait to meet baby number 2. But it's a while off, but I'll keep you posted anyway. So, I think that's all for this week. But, the sun is out. It's looking pretty nice out there, actually. Bit nippy, though. So whatever you're doing this weekend, have a great weekend, and I will speak to you again next week. Bye-bye.